And how is it going, Elder Scrolls Nation? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest Bethesda Game Studios news. The bit of news that we're going to be talking about today is an update to a situation that happened a couple weeks ago when Bethesda, or more importantly, Bethesda's top enforcer, Pete Hines, gave Sony a pretty heavy threat, a pretty big ultimatum. Now, like I said, this happened a couple weeks ago, and I did make a video about it then. If you haven't seen that video, then I highly suggest you watch it before going forward. You can watch it by clicking on the screen here or going down in the description below for the link. Now, the TLDR is, like I said a couple weeks ago, Pete Hines was interviewed by Game Informer, and he was talking about Elder Scrolls Legends and cross-platform play and a few other things. He said that Sony is the only platform right now that refuses to do anything related to cross-platform play, and it pisses Pete Hines off because it splinters the community. He says that the Bethesda community needs to be one unit on all devices, not separate little fractured things on each console or device, etc. And in fact, like I said, he told Sony that if they don't start changing their ways when it comes to cross-platform play and at least attempt to start implementing it soon, that Bethesda is prepared to no longer publish their games on the PlayStation. As of right now, that list of games is gonna be, but not limited to, the Elder Scrolls Legends, and a lot of people may not play the Elder Scrolls Legends, at least not as many people that play Elder Scrolls Skyrim and the main games and Fallout and stuff like that, but that is still a pretty heavy threat because the Elder Scrolls Legends has a big following, and if Bethesda carries that threat over the other games, Sony would be kicked right in the balls. Now, shortly after that interview with Pete Hines, Jim Ryan, the head of global sales and marketing for PlayStation, in an interview with Eurogamer, attempted to defend Sony's decision to block cross-platform play. They say that they have a contract with their users over on the PlayStation Network that they're going to provide a very safe, friendly, and fun online gaming environment, and they think that this may be compromised if they allow cross-platform online play with the other platforms and consoles, PC, everything, all that stuff. Seems like PlayStation wants to control their underwater utopia or something. Hopefully, wait, Jim Ryan? Wasn't the name of the guy in BioShock Andrew Ryan? Oh shit, is he a sibling? Oh man! I'm just joking. No, it's just a bunch of legal stuff, but I'm sure it goes deeper than that. I'm sure there's some technical stuff as well. But anyway, let's get to the update and see what happened and if Bethesda had any pull at all with this situation. Now, some of you may have already heard about this because Sony caved in. They are allowing cross-platform play, at least temporarily, and at least only with Fortnite. Now, this is kind of a big deal because Fortnite is a huge game, and if any game should have cross-platform play, it should probably be Fortnite. But I think that Bethesda definitely had a hand here in forcing Sony's hand because they're the most recent, largest developer to put a threat towards Sony about cross-platform play. Now, in episode 308 of the Sony blogcast, Sony said that they identified a path towards supporting cross-platform features for selected third-party content. We recognize that PlayStation players have been eagerly awaiting an update to this, and we appreciate the community's continued patience as we have navigated through the issue of being called out by Bethesda and a bunch of other people and pissing everyone off and being called greedy. Now, they said that begins today, so that means that cross-platform online play for Fortnite is currently ongoing. Now, Sony does refer to even this one unique situation with Fortnite as a temporary beta to see how cross-platform play does. Of course, they probably want to make sure that their utopian online community doesn't get compromised by the evil other communities on Microsoft, Nintendo, and all that stuff. But at the same time, they want to make sure they get all the technical stuff right as well, because they go on to say here that it is a major policy change for Sony and that there'll be more information about other games going forward, but that it's definitely been a policy change rather than a technical one because cross-platform play on the PS4 and the Xbox One was accidentally turned on last year for Fortnite before being quickly disabled, meaning they already had all of the framework in place. So while Sony said before, back after Pete Hines' interview, that it was partially a technical issue, they must have been kind of full of shit, or they're just trying to deflate the situation at least temporarily. Maybe they did plan on announcing cross-platform play, so that's why they didn't have a direct announcement, but I don't think so. I think Bethesda definitely forced their hand, or at best, made them rush their announcement or change their policies about cross-platform play. Now, Sean Layden, who is the chairman of Sony Interactive America Worldwide Studios, said in episode 308 of the PlayStation blogcast that this is something that's been taking up about 65% of his Twitter feed over the last months, and he wants people to know that enabling cross-platform play isn't as simple as flipping a switch and there you go. It's a very multi-dimensional attribute or feature, but the thing is, apparently it is as simple as flipping a switch because someone accidentally flipped on the cross-platform play light switch instead of the bathroom light on their way to go do the poopsies. Well, the technical thing is probably as easy as flipping a switch because that did happen. I'm sure that there's other things like message sending, parties, like making groups online to play with their friends and all that that kind of stuff. And, of course, the PlayStation Utopia needs to be preserved. Sean Layden goes on to say that Sony has taken so long to reveal cross-online platform play because it wanted to make sure that the feature would be feasible. The company has been checking to make sure the infrastructure for customer support and in-game messaging would work with other systems, as well as getting the okay from partners. It takes us longer than I would have wanted to, Layden admits, but he adds that he thinks it worked out for the best to announce Sony's new stance on console crossplay and the start of the Fortnite crossplay beta at the same time. How many times am I gonna say crossplay in this video? Now, Layden ended the discussion by reiterating that this cross-platform play situation with Fortnite should be taken as a beta. It doesn't mean that they're going to carry this cross-platform play on even with Fortnite and especially the other games, but if the situation goes well, they very well may do that. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion on this situation. Like I said, I do definitely think that Bethesda and Pete Hines especially had some sort of influence in forcing Bethesda's hand and allowing cross-platform play. Now, at the same time, do I think that PlayStation is going to go ahead and put cross-platform play on any game right now on the PS4? That's doubtful. I don't think that may happen. It might though, but what I think is happening is that this cross-platform play beta situation is more or less a test for what's going to happen with the next generation of gaming, because I think that cross-platform play is at least a target for Xbox, Sony, and eventually Nintendo to all be able to play connected together in one online network. If this situation and this beta goes smoothly, they may allow this current generation of consoles to do that as well, but that just depends on how well this situation goes. Now, as always, I want to know what you have to say about all of this. Do you think Bethesda and Pete Hines had an influence in forcing Sony to do cross-platform play a bit early than they wanted to? Do you think this might be a beta test for the next generation of consoles? And do you think that the PS5 and the Xbox whatever and the Nintendo eventually will all have cross-platform play? As always, let me know what you think in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet and may be featured in a future video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay in the know about Bethesda Game Studios news, next-gen gaming news, and the most controversial gaming news, because a lot of people have been trying to silence my channel so far, but you know what? They won't stop me from bringing you the news. Also, follow me on Twitter, where you can get the latest channel updates and random shit about me, and come check out my Twitch channel, where I've recently reached Twitch affiliate, and I am now gonna start streaming soon, and I'm gonna have a weekly streaming schedule by the end of this week. And if you want to have your hand in providing future content and standing as a warrior amongst the community by defending the channel from bullshit video takedowns, then consider subscribing to the community on Patreon, where you can earn unique and awesome awards and get access to the daily dose of stuff and things, where I give you daily behind-the-scenes content and information on the channel and future videos. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Sony and Bethesda both build giant robot mechs that fight each other to the death. I don't know why the winner really doesn't win anything, but they're gonna do it anyway. Yes! Pay-per-view. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Bye, have a great time.